Hey everyone, welcome back to Dollar Games, and today I'll be diving back into the Digiverse with Digimon Story Time Stranger. A little while ago, I made a video about how excited I was for this game while also highlighting the earlier entries, Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. In that video, I was hyped. Spoiler for today's video, I'm equally hyped, maybe even more. Before I jump in, I have to give a huge thank you to Bandai Namco for inviting me to demo Time Stranger. It was honestly surreal. At PAX West, I was invited into a behind the closed doors session where I spent about 2 hours with the game. During that time, I got to play the opening hour and then a little section from later on in the story. And honestly, my entire experience can be summed up in one phrase: Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Now that's my spoken word rendition of the 90s anime intro. And no, I won't apologize for it. It has nothing to do with this game, but I stand by it. Okay, here's the basic premise of Time Stranger. You play as an Adamas agent in Tokyo whose life changes after a Digimon encounter triggers a mysterious explosion. That event throws you 8 years in the past, where you'll be tasked with preventing a collapse that threatens both the human world and the digital world of Iliad. The story mixes familiar locations like Shinjuku and Akihabara with the colorful, dangerous landscapes of Iliad, all while exploring bonds, conflicts, and the flow of time itself. When I booted up the game, the first thing I noticed was the multiple difficulty options. For the demo, I played on balance, but there are both easier and harder modes. There's even a mechanic where if you lose, the game asks if you want to temporarily lower the difficulty for that fight. Not everyone's going to use it, but I think it's a nice safety net. Next up was creating my character type, and then I dropped straight into Tokyo. Now early on in the game felt pretty linear. You're running around, you're investigating things, and you're trying to get somewhere specific. But I don't mind that here since it eased me into the mechanics. And right away, one thing stood out. The game looks way better than Cyber Sleuth. Before long, I got to pick my starter Digimon from a handful of options. Being a lifelong Angemon fan, I had to go with Patamon. If you're an Angemon fan, let me know in the comments. If not, we might not be friends. Just kidding. With my partner chosen, I dove into the dungeon system. The best way I can describe it is imagine Metaphor Refantasio, but with Digimon. You're exploring on foot, and when you encounter an enemy Digimon, you have choices. If your Digimon is stronger, you can instantly defeat them with a physical attack and still earn EXP and other points. If they're stronger than you, you'll damage them, but get pulled into a turn-based battle. Combat itself is straightforward, but the highlight is how clearly the game shows weaknesses and resistances. Attacks display effectiveness in percentages: 200% for strong advantage, 50% for resistance, and 100% for just a basic attack. It makes team composition way more strategic. Of course, no Digimon game would be complete without Digivolution, and Time Stranger really leans into it. Not only can you evolve your Digimon forward, but you can also devolve and re-digivolve them, giving you the freedom to experiment and min-max your team however you like. The constant cycling of forms and paths feel almost like a puzzle in itself. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of Shin Megami Tensei, but with a Digimon flair. You're always looking for that perfect combination of stats, forms, and abilities to round out your party. Now on top of that, every Digimon has its own personality traits. After battles, you can interact with them through short conversations, and the responses you choose actually matter. Your answers can shift their mood, which then affect how their stats grow when they level up. It's a clever system because it makes your team feel way more personal. You're not just grinding for levels, you're shaping these creatures' growth paths based on the way you interact with them. It adds a whole extra layer of depth for anyone who loves building unique teams, and I can already tell I'm going to spend way too much time fine-tuning personalities to get the exact kind of Digimon I want. So how do you recruit new Digimon? As you fight them in dungeons, you build up a scan percentage. At 100%, you can add them into your team. But if you want to wait till 200%, they'll join as a much stronger version. This system is dangerous for my free time because I can already see myself grinding hours to get the perfect personality and stats. But hey, my free time's already doomed, so I guess why not? Another cool mechanic in the game is that Digimon can learn attachment skills found in dungeons. These can be equipped to grant new abilities, letting you customize each Digimon to cover weaknesses or boost specific roles. I love this because I'm all about min-maxing in JRPGs, and this system gives you tons of flexibility to build specialized teams. As I pushed through the first dungeon, I met a mysterious girl who joined my character. She clearly had her own motives and added intrigue to the story, but not long after we hit our first major encounter, and that is with a Metal Greymon ambush. Now, we were also saved at the last second by Omnimon, a legendary royal knight who will clearly play a huge role in the story, I'm hoping. That moment had me beyond excited for what's to come. Afterward, I continued deeper into the dungeon, but just as I was getting hooked, it was time to move on to the second part of the demo. The second section took place much later in the game. This time, I had a wide selection of Digimon to build my party with, which was half the fun right there. Before advancing the story, I was shown this area called the In-Between Theater, where you can actually access the Digifarm. The Digifarm is where you can train your Digimon passively as the story goes on. Digimon placed there will level and grow in real time, and you can choose to feed or train them, which raises specific stats or even shifts their personality type. Since certain evolutions require precise stat spreads, this becomes a key part of building out your roster. After some Digifarm tinkering, I jumped into the story. My team was helping defend a village under attack. One enemy Digimon injured during the fighting was nursed back to health by a villager. In return, that Digimon joined forces with us to push the attackers back and face the dungeon boss. That dungeon happened to be an underwater stage. Visually, it was gorgeous. You float from platform to platform on ocean currents, and the design is way beyond the auto-generated feel of Cybersleuth's dungeons. It's mostly linear with branching side paths for treasure, which made it feel both guided and rewarding to explore. The boss at the end was Sharkmon. Thankfully, I overheard people hinting about it earlier, so I came prepared with lightning-type Digimon. The fight wasn't overly challenging on balanced mode, but it was fun and visually exciting. I imagine hard mode will be where the real challenge lies. Before wrapping up, I had a little bit of time to try out the in-game card game. I noticed an NPC in town selling cards, so you can collect them throughout the game to improve your deck. Matches are simple but fun. You and your opponent gets 5 cards each, and your Digivices face off on screen. Kind of like those old school Digivice toys from the 90s. You guys remember those, right? Each card had one of 3 symbols, making it a rock, paper, scissors style of game, and on top of that, each card had a level from 1 to 7. Now, higher levels usually win, but there was this rule about glitches where a level 1 can beat a level 7, which makes me curious if regional rules will change as you progress. It's easy to learn, quick to play, and dangerously addictive. I squeezed in several rounds before leaving, and I already know I'll be sinking time into it when the full game drops. Walking away from this demo, I can honestly say that Digimon Story Time Stranger feels like the next big step for the series. It takes everything I loved from Cybersleuth, the recruiting, the battling, the digivolving, and layers on fresh mechanics like personality traits, the Digifarm, and even a side card game that I know I'll lose hours to. The dungeons look better, the story feels bigger, and the little touches like Omnimon showing up early already have me hooked on where the narrative is going. I went into PAX West excited, but after spending 2 hours with this game, my hype is through the roof. This isn't just more Digimon. It's shaping up to be one of the best Digimon RPGs yet. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, and also let me know if you're going to be picking up this game. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.